Time for more Toast N Jam, and it's always nice to have you along. I'm Tim Ost, known as Toast, and here he is, Paul McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
He is the Jam.
Yes, I am. Always in a jam.
Poet, and you didn't even know it.
But
I'm the Jam. Yes, I am.
How you doing today?
I'm pretty good. I've got my colors on. You've got yours on.
Yeah.
We'll talk about you later. I know you can't wear them every day.
He doesn't have to wear it because he bleeds it.
I know he does. Mm-hmm. Well, Toast N Jam is presented by Valley City State University, and we're broadcasting from the second floor of the Rhodes Science Center on the beautiful VCSU campus, even in wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
It's picturesque.
Mm-hmm.
And before we get to our guest, let's catch up on some local sports. Our guest today, by the way, is Cory Anderson from the Foundation office. Cory, nice to have you along.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
This is kind of a 2-for-1 deal.
Okay.
We have a guy from the Foundation office that's going to talk about some things, but then we also have a former athlete. We've been talking to former athletes
And coach.
from the last 100 years, not saying that you played all of those years. Almost. Feels like it some days, right? We'll catch up with Cory here in just a second, but Paul, let's recap some of the local sports.
Well, going quick, of course, all fall sports done. Winter sports getting started now. Girls basketball, their first game is tonight at Devils Lake.
Tough one.
The very first game of the year is probably the toughest one they'll have this season. At least that's what I'm saying now.
It would be a nice way to end up playing them again in the state championship game, right?
Yeah, we'll see what happens as far as that's concerned. But that is tonight. Again, the first poll came out. Valley City is ranked number 2. They got 8 first-place votes. South Prairie Max got 7 first-place votes, number 1. However, Carrington beat them last night, first game of the season. Carrington, who is receiving votes, defeated the Royals 54-47.
Not the team we played in the state volleyball?
Most of the same players.
Okay.
All of these teams have the same players. And that's why a former or a current high school coach came up with a proposal that I liked to maybe start the high school volleyball season earlier so it ends earlier so these dual sport athletes have at least another week before the basketball season starts.
So they can catch their breath a little bit.
A little bit. Instead of the volleyball's on Saturday, Monday, you're back to practice, and you're getting after it. But so girls basketball, boys basketball, yesterday was their first practice. The Highlander boys' first game is at Sargent County. That'll be coming up the 12th of December. Also, girls basketball next week is the BCT. That's going to be a fun tournament. 3 teams that are in the BCT are ranked in the top in their respective polls. The Highliners, Lemoore Litchfield Marion is ranked number 4 in Class B. Maple River is ranked 3 in Class B. They got Maple River will be at Medina Pingree Buchanan tonight to start their season. So the BCT next week. So you want to see some good basketball, come out to the bubble next Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for the girls' BCT.
Is there a year that Lemoore is ever not ranked?
Not really. Not that I can
think of. They have a
of.
string of athletes that just keep coming.
In every sport, they just know they keep punching those out. So that'll be next week. The first week in January is the boys. Wrestling getting started now for Highlander wrestlers. The boys are at a tournament in Hillsborough this weekend. The girls actually host a triangular as we talk here on Tuesday. They have Northern Cass and West Fargo United, and it's a duel because now they have enough girls wrestlers to have a dual team. So they will be hosting tonight a triangular, and hockey is off and running. Of course, a handful of Highlanders that play for Jamestown boys and girls. The girls had a 1-1 tie to Aberdeen Central in their first game the other day, and Addie Bacalar, Trevor's daughter, was their goalie. She had 24 saves. 25 would have been better, because then they would have won. But she had 24 saves in that 1-1 tie with Aberdeen Central. And one just kind of interesting note, boys swimming and diving, the Highlanders pair with Jamestown. This is the first time in 11 years there's not a Hagelin boy on the Jamestown Blue Jays swimming and diving team. There's all 3 that have now graduated. Bodie's actually here at VCSU. but first time in 11 years is not a Highliner Haglund swimming for the Jays.
Wow.
So just an interesting note there. But that's what's going on as far as high school. Boys basketball for VCSU. They're going to be on the road at Bellevue and Dakota State this weekend. Last weekend, or a couple weekends ago, they opened up the conference season at home. And the women split their 2 games. They defeated Montana Tech on Saturday, who was ranked number 21. This week, they got Dakota State, who's ranked 4th in the nation, and they'll be down in Madison. So Bellevue on Friday, Dakota State on Saturday for the men and women. Indoor track season getting started for the Vikings. They are in Bismarck at the Marauder Open on Saturday. And they have 27 athletes returning from last year's squad, 18 men, 9 women. That'll be back with the Viking track. So that is what is going on for local sports.
Okay, thank you, Paul. And can you remember
Nope.
a Viking team, Minnesota Viking team, having their struggles like this year?
Yep.
When was that?
1984.
Mike Tice?
Nope.
Oh.
Les Steckel.
Oh, yeah, Les Steckel.
Bud Grant retired in 83.
Okay.
Steckel, who was the secondary coach, went in 84. They went 3-13. And then Bud came back for 1 year.
Come back here.
And then Jerry Burns then took over after Bud left. But, yeah, that would say that team that went 3-13.
So that's 40 years.
Yeah. Archie Manning was quarterback for the Vikings on that team.
He
They
was?
had Tommy Kramer, but he was often injured. Wade Wilson. But Archie Manning was quarterbacking the Vikings.
So that was the worst year since that time. And
Yeah.
we've been spoiled. If you're a Viking fan, Minnesota Viking fan, I mean, usually a bad year is still above 500. And we usually make the playoffs. But this year's been a little different. And Adam Thielen is jumping ship. I would too.
Yeah.
He never saw the field.
They hardly saw it. Nope.
When he did, he dropped the ball.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
A couple times.
Literally
yeah.
and figuratively.
And
yes.
usually he catches them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, the Vikes, they have who? Oh, Commanders.
Commanders.
They're just about as bad. That should be the
That should be
toilet bowl.
interesting. That should be interesting. Playing for that first-round pick.
Yeah, okay. And other schools, of course, UND beat Tennessee Tech in the first round. They will play Tarleton State in Texas. Tarleton beat Army earlier this year, so it's not going to be a cakewalk for UND. And NDSU will meet Illinois State. That should be a walk.
Should be.
Maybe,
Should
maybe
be.
not. I don't know. UND hockey now 10-4 after a sweep of Bemidji State last week and some of the other sports in the region. Let's get to the nuts and bolts of this whole thing. And
Yes.
we've got Cory Anderson with us from the VCSU Foundation office. Cory, always good to talk to you. Good to see you. Doing a great job. You guys are.
Hey, are you up for the new presidency?
He
I
is.
mean,
I got
if
time.
that's your perspective, that's awesome. Let's go.
Put your name.
Heavy
put your
on
hat in the ring.
sports.
Put your hat in the ring.
Heavy on the sports side, yeah. Oh, Cory, let's get a little. First, let's catch up on the Tharaldson Athletic Complex. How are things going there?
It is going awesome. Every day there's, it seems like something new that you see as you drive by that area, and it's a tough drive by because it doesn't happen very fast. Like you get to almost pull into the Gawker Center parking lot and be able to sit and really take everything in there. So, yeah, production of the construction of things is going really well. The footings have been poured, and the foundation walls now are I'd say probably 75% around the building. And today they're doing a makeshift approach. The approach that's off of 8th right now, they need to pull out because they need to put the foundation in that area where they've been driving in and out. So they'll pour footings and put foundations up there. And then, the hope is that I think the middle of December, we're supposed to possibly get a little bit of a break in some temperatures, possibly around the freezing point, that would allow us to get our fill brought in so we can backfill the whole area. It looks like there's a lot of fill in there right now. We got 12 more inches to go. So, then once that happens, The next significant point is going to be early in January when the steel arrives. Mm-hmm. It's sitting in the warehouse in Minnesota right now, the steel and the wrap, and it's ready to be delivered, and that'll start getting erected in January. And then probably by the middle of January, you'll see the big crane come in, and once those side supports steel are erected, then they'll start with the trusses that at its height will be 73 feet, and I think people are going to be really amazed about how big this building is.
Can you compare that to something in the state anywhere?
Well, I'll compare with its neighbor, the Bubble. The Bubble is 38 feet.
So double that.
Double it.
Almost.
Double the Bubble.
Yeah. It's going to be a large one.
Wow.
I don't think we even can really understand. I know when we had our groundbreaking, our architect actually flew their drone at 73 feet, so you could get an idea of how high it'd be, and it'll be pretty amazing. So things are progressing very well on that, and then once everything is erected that way, we'll put the roof on first, and then either the sides or the ends, whichever I think they prefer to go with their sides first, and yeah, it'll start taking shape.
Talk to us about the material that'll be used for the sides, the roofing in these North Dakota winters.
Yes, it's actually a unique system. So it is a steel framed building. It is I-beams. They are coated, rust resistant, but it'll be wrapped in what they term as PVC. Now, it's not the PVC that rigid PVC that you are familiar with, but it's a 28-ounce. They call it, the actual term is Exotech fabric, and they will wrap it with this fabric, and it will be airtight, moisture tight. In part of their selling point, or what they show in their manufacturing area, is they will place one of the walls on its side, and they will take their 10,000-pound skid steer and they will drive it across those walls, and it holds it.
Wow.
So the protection against the elements will be extreme as well. And we're really excited about the process. And once they line the outside, then they'll come back and they'll insulate the inside and rough in all of the electrical and all of the things necessary on that side. And then they'll insulate and wrap the inside. And then we'll be progressing, and it'll start taking shape.
Inside, what is the square footage?
Square footage inside is about 60,000 square feet.
Okay.
So there'll be 85 yards of turf in there, but there'll be some extra area on each side of the turf. And then width-wise, it'll be 230 feet wide. And so normal football field is about 150 feet wide. So it's going to have a large footprint, and really right now you can kind of see the footprint with how the footings and the foundation walls are set up.
Okay, obviously for football use, but anything else?
Oh, yes. We will be able to, you talked about indoor track and field. We'll have sprinting lanes in there, so they'll be able to do their hurdles, their sprints, their long jumps, their triple jumps, their high jumps, their throwing events they'll be able to do inside. So 75% probably of what they would need to practice for their indoor track meets that they have. Very similar to, in baseball, they'll be able to take infield in there, they'll be able to take live BP. Probably get about 75% of their work in there. You wouldn't be able to, left field and center field, you might be able to make some distance throws. Softball, it'll be set up for a regulation softball field. So they'll be able to play fast pitch softball in there, and the size will be regulation as far as the fence depth is concerned, and so that'll be obviously a bonus, for that particular sport, and then football, your 15 yards is what you don't have to use, but it'll be awesome.
Yeah, well, what about the turf? Now, what kind of turf are we putting down? Is it the same as the football field?
It'll be similar. The company is similar, meaning it's sprint turf that is going in there. The variety might be a little bit different because, as you would know, we're inside and not outside, so we don't have to put drainage in. What we'll do is we'll add 12 more inches of rock and some of that aggregate right now, and then we'll put 2 inches down of kind of the preparatory soil that needs to go beneath the turf itself.
Okay.
And then it'll be your standard AstroTurf.
How about
sprint turf.
How about heating a building like that? Like
So
middle of winter, okay? It's 30 below. What are we talking?
Yeah, and so, we did a lot of work on that area because as we considered what we were going to do here, a conventional build, which is just your regular building, like, say, what NDSU put up in Fargo. So steel, metal, maybe some brick involved with it, different types of things like that, has a different system. We looked at a bubble. An air-inflated structure.
Sure.
One of the things, the cost to build it was probably okay, but the ongoing costs of what you needed to do with it, and then it just wasn't probably tough enough for the elements that we wanted, since we're going to have a lot of different things inside this building. Eventually the locker rooms and the weight room and all the other accessories like that, training room. And so this unit will be taking out the boiler that's in the bubble right now. After graduation's over, the boiler that is heating the bubble, which is behind the south baskets, that will come out. And that area will actually become what we call the Legacy Lounge.
Okay.
And so what we'll be doing with, we ran natural gas to the area now, but we'll have air handling units that we'll be using, that will be controlling the air in and out of that facility. And part of the process is we looked at two of these buildings that are already constructed in Minnesota. And in July, when it's 85 to 90 degrees down in the Mankato area, and you know how hot and humid it gets, and you go inside that building and they don't have AC in there, but it was a very pleasant temperature.
Okay.
Just because of how these air handling units work, and they actually are derived from a company that builds domes, and they're the ones that we landed on them, and it met our economical standpoint as far as our budget was concerned, and it would allow us to just have the control we wanted with it.
Because a lot of times we put a building up and we forget about the maintenance.
Yes.
And there's a cost to that too.
Yes.
And that's something that I'm glad you guys looked into, and it's going to help you a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, it will. And we have a fiduciary responsibility because this is all built with donor money. This is not state money. It's not taxpayer money. This is donor money that we're using with this project. As for people that aren't aware, you cannot use state funds to do anything with athletic facilities or student centers. And so in that particular area, it requires us to do all private donations.
Tell us a little bit about, you mentioned this lounge. What is that all going to consist of?
So that area, where the garage doors are right now, those garage doors will be removed, and on both sides will be hallways into the new area. You can see right now that we call it the wedge, but that's already been constructed onto the bubble. And that wedge will be where the new restrooms are, and then it'll also have some of our utility or maintenance rooms and some different things like that on the west side. But those long hallways, the hallway that will be on the the east side. So as you go out the east side of the bubble and you go into where the garage doors are now, you'll walk into that garage area, which will be transformed into a Hall of Fame area. Okay. So it'll be the Dakota Bank Hall of Fame. And then that'll lead you down into a long hallway. And that'll be our Champions Walk hallway where we will put up, our people that were donors to the project, the shields and oars and any of the other significant things. That will be on that long hallway. Okay. And the Legacy Lounge will be something that two former Vikings, Steve Fike and John Olsted, and their families contributed the dollars to put in the Legacy Lounge. And it will be like a hospitality area. Okay. I think if you have the Barnes County Tournament, and you have a lot of people, it'll be, we have one concession stand now. That'll be that overflow, and it'll be another concession stand area.
Perfect.
And then it'll allow us to use it for other things throughout the year when we're hosting events or having press conferences or doing different things like that. It'll be a really nice feature.
Tell us where the other facilities will be in that complex. Is there another story, or where is it all going to go?
So we're doing this in two parts. Number one, we needed to have the things that we don't have now, which is the indoor practice facility, the big turf. We don't have that space right now. We have locker rooms for the sports. We have our batting cages. We have our athletic training room. We have our weight room. We have those things. Now, we're going to have new ones of those in the building. It'll be on the north end. So if we talk about this building being 300 feet long, we're going to have 60 feet on the north end and 200 feet of width that will hold the weight room, the men's and women's basketball locker rooms, the athletic training room, the equipment room, the football locker room. Then it'll have a mezzanine area on the second level. And on the second level, we'll have team rooms for softball and baseball and for men's and women's men's and women's track and field. And then that's also where the bullpens and the batting cages will be.
Okay. So could that be utilized for golf as well?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. A lot of uses.
Yes. It's a multi-sports complex.
And I should have asked this question a little earlier. Are you on schedule, ahead of schedule? Where do the builders feel they're at?
Well, we started August 15th, and we're hoping August 15th of this next year will be done.
In time for football.
In time for football, which honestly, football wouldn't use that space except for when it gets colder, and they would need to go in there on the days that we may have snow or rain or whatever, those days that we would use the bubble to do walkthroughs. Now we can actually get practice time in. And we're dancing with our timeline right now. There's just a lot of different variables, weather-wise and how fast we can get everything we need for backfill to the area. In the perfect world, we'd want to be able to get backfill in, everything in place before it really gets nasty cold, and then we can get the whole building wrapped. If we can't get everything in, then you may see us not do sides of the building because we don't want to leave an area open and then have it insulated, because we would just be creating a refrigerator and then it would never thaw in the spring. So we're really fortunate. Border Construction that's doing the job. Tom their foreman, is just wonderful to work with, and he has been finding solutions along the way to help us move forward.
And people can actually watch the progress?
They can. We do have a live feed, and it'd be easy to tell you the website, but you have to bear with. It's a little. We shortened it up on purpose because it came from our contractor.
Okay.
And so it's actually the word bit.ly. So if you're familiar with Bitly, they allow you to shorten up your URLs, right? So bit.ly/the ship. And ship is all in capital letters. And ship is what we kind of use to differentiate the big building from the connecting building. And we call it the ship because it's the Tharaldson Family Athletic Center for sports, health, and innovative performance. Thus, the ship.
Perfect. Nice. Like it. Well, and of course, you're wrapping up the Voyage campaign.
Yes, we have a Finish the Voyage campaign that I'm glad you see wrapping up. We're kind of launching probably the grassroots part of it right now.
Okay.
But what that is people that have the opportunity, and we really want everybody that's been a Viking or has a soft spot in their heart for VCSU, or we want everybody to be a part of the history of this build. It's been 100 years of being the Vikings. And so what we want is to be able to give people that opportunity. So we've got a few things that we have. One of them is starting out with the top one is the shield. And the shield is something that would adorn that Champions Walk hallway, and we're selling 20 of them. And what it looks like is that right there. Once a Viking, always a Viking. We all row. And for instance, this one Jeff and Bobby Joe Nathan have purchased. That's a $25,000 gift to the campaign. So we will
That's
run.
one check for you, Hey, Paul, one check for you. Just put it in.
I will eventually. Christmas is.
He's going to want his picture on that one. We have to figure out if we can do that.
I don't know if it'll fit.
No, we don't want. No.
The second opportunity is these shields will be adorning the wall all in one row, and then below it we'll have oars. We all row oars, and here's an example of that oar, and that's a $5,000 commitment. And now those commitments, both the shield and the oar, can be done over 5 years. So people could, in this case, give $1,000 a year for 5 years. And we're selling those as well, and we're selling 20 of the shields and 100 of the oars.
Nice.
And then the last thing we have is, you're familiar with maybe the pride stone that we have that goes out onto the football field. So we'll be putting a pride stone into this space as well. And so the pride stone is something that our football players all touch on their way out to the field. Well, we want to give that experience to all of our athletes, so we'll place that in the building in a certain area, and it'll say Viking Pride on the top of it. And then there is space for 200 names to go on this particular Pride Stone. And the Pride Stone, to get your name on there, is $1,000. And that can be done over, if you want to do $50 a month for 20 months, you can do that. We're very willing to work with the terms with people on any of those things. If they want to be a part of it, just contact us, and we have a lot of this information out on our alumni.org, VCSUalumni.org site, or it'll be in our new bulletin that comes out here in December. On the backside, they can find more information on that as well.
And this Voyage campaign has been very, very successful. You had some big ones come through at the end. I don't know if you want to mention names or anything, but you have one on the name sake itself.
Yes.
Gary Tharaldson.
Yeah, the Tharaldson family, obviously, everybody is familiar with the family. And, he wanted to see it to the point where, okay, when we get halfway through the project, let me know. And then, he wanted to see, he didn't want to be probably the person that started it, which makes sense. I mean, he doesn't get to where he is without, knowing the lay of the land, so to speak. And so their gift put us over the top on that side and allowed us to get to the point of getting the things that we don't have right now.
Okay.
And then finish the voyage is basically just the relocation of, getting our locker rooms out of the basement of the current bubble, because there'll be work done in the bubble as well. We're going to be putting in, making some changes. Obviously, the boiler is leaving, so we'll have a new system in the bubble. We're going to have to put water suppression in case there's a fire. So the coaches will be displaced this summer for a little bit while some work is done on the inside of the bubble as well.
So many people to thank.
Yeah.
So many.
It takes a village.
It does.
It takes a village. And again, this is privately fundraised.
Yeah, no state money at all.
No state money. And so it takes, and it's a big lift for us. We're a small campus. We're a lot of educators. But the amount of people that are able to band together for the good of the cause, and we've waited 40 years for sure for something like this. There was always rumors that Mr. Osmond had plans for something south of his building. Mm-hmm. And so now to be able to have this going up, it's just going to be a game changer for us. Yeah. And I can't believe it's happening yet. I think when the steel goes up is when it will get real for me. And we're just next year at this time. I don't know how we'll think. I mean, it's just going to be really cool.
Yeah, it's such a recruiting attraction. I can't believe what it's going to do for recruiting in all sports.
Yep, yep, and retention.
And retention.
And not only recruiting athletes, recruiting coaches.
Yeah, you bet.
I mean, if you can go to a facility or to a school that has amenities like this that other people don't have, and we got to take advantage of it, because I know there's a lot of eyes on this project, and we're going to have people that are going to be coming to visit us as this moves along and as we complete it. And you're going to see more like this, because I think it meets the price point of our North Dakota economy. Mm-hmm. Whether it's our local high schools in the area, I think you're just going to see more indoor facilities that are similar to this. And this building really came from the ag side. It's an ag building. It was built with the purpose of holding fertilizer, non-corrosive, so it doesn't rust, no corrosive capabilities in it. And so they just decided, maybe we should start making athletic facilities out of this. And thus they did. They just did one at Texas A&M. And so lots of good references for us to be able to go by.
Man, good stuff. Well, and I'm going to back up here a little bit too. Cory, is not only found a place here at Valley City State, he also played football here. You played baseball. You were a coach. And that kind of fits into the 100 years of athletics here at Valley City State. And, boy, you've spent a lot of your life right here.
Lots of seasons, 50 seasons. There's probably a trivia question here that you guys know Bob Lemnis.
Yes.
So you talk about Viking lore. Here's a Viking lore story. He played for Hank Bijou, and I played for Jim Dew. They were best men in each other's weddings.
Exactly.
And we had a game in Valley City, a baseball game in the spring of the year one year. It was 27 degrees out. And it started to snow in the end of the first game. And Hank always tells the story. And when I became the coach here, he would come over to my bench and he would say, well, I tell you, there was a time where there was a pitcher from Valley City threw both games of a doubleheader. I don't know who would do that to a guy, but this coach from Valley City did it to his player. I'm not going to tell you who that player was. So it was true. Our second pitcher couldn't get warmed up. And so I ended up throwing both sides of the doubleheader. Now, probably for the first time ever, that's happened before in college athletics.
Yeah.
The trivia part of it is the pitcher on the other team, Bob Lemnis, did the same thing. He threw both sides for Dickinson. So doubleheader, 2 starting pitchers. I'll let you ask Bob who won both games.
Now, what year would that have been?
Oh, that would have been 1986.
Okay, because my freshman year at Dickinson State, it seems like every time we came over to Valley City, it was about 20-some degrees, a little sleet. I remember playing third. One time I got the ball hit to me, and I could barely get the ball in my hand because it was so cold.
Yep.
But we played anyway.
Yep.
We didn't have gloves. Back then we did, but maybe in the 80s you did, but we didn't.
Coach Bijou used to say about Jim Dew, he goes, he'd play a game in 2 inches of snow if he thought he could get a couple wins out of it. Well, it's because that's what happened. So anyway, that's my sharing of Viking lore. Maybe I need to write that one up for you.
Oh, boy.
That would be a good one.
That is a really good one. And of course, you played football, too.
Yep.
And you played for Jim Dew, of course.
Yep, played for Coach in both sports.
You coached. You coached here for a while.
Yeah, and I coached for him. He got me started. I was not going into education. I was not going into coaching. And when he wrote my letter of reference, he said his only regret is that I did not go into that field because he thought I'd be really good at it. And that I think his words on it was he's the type of person I'd want my son or daughter to play for. And so for some reason, his control over me manifested into I became his assistant, and then eventually I took over the baseball program, and then when he was done with, I coached for him with football, and then when he was done, took over his offensive coordinator position. Okay. And so, yes, I owe a lot to that young man. I say young man because he's still really young at heart and
still golfing.
Still golfing and still very active on social media, and he knows everything about all of his former players, and it's amazing the connection that he has with all of us. And that's, he was here from 73 to 93, 20 years worth of athletes in 2 sports, and his connection with all of them and grandkids and great-grandkids, it's amazing. He's truly, him and Paulette are amazing people.
So active. It's just fun to see him when you see him. Not only, you got a little bit of the college feel. when you were the head man in the North Star Athletic Association, too. How many years was that?
8 years.
8 years. Wow.
Yep, that was, I'll never have a better job than that one. And this is probably, and it doesn't sound right when I'm in this position I'm in, this is a way more meaningful position. And I left that job to come to this one because I really thought that it was important. This is a very meaningful job. The commissioner job, I loved because it was just second nature, and getting to work with all the coaches and all the universities that were in the North Star, and it was really in my wheelhouse that way in terms of probably not being uncomfortable ever. And they say growth comes from being uncomfortable, and so coming into this position, definitely lots of growth. Because if you'd have told me, 10 years ago or 20 years ago that I'd be in a fundraising position, I would have told you there's no way in heck. But it's about creating the relationships, and it's about being there for the people, and there's a lot of people that have an affinity for Valley City State University, and we want to make sure that affinity is met properly for them, and they have the opportunity to leave their mark on this campus like this campus left their mark on them.
Right. And you got to work side by side with Larry Robinson.
Absolutely. And
what was that like?
Yeah, well, you know what? You come in, and it was interesting because you have the pre-relationship when you were the student. And Larry's energy and just his personality, and he knew everybody, and we had a little bit of a connection because he had taught in Warwick, and I was from Mackville.
Oh, yeah.
And my high school principal, Maynard Loibel, I think kind of had taken Larry under his wing a little bit when he was the principal in Warwick, and so they had a really strong relationship. So Larry was very familiar with anybody from Mackville that came down. And then, when he had the opportunity in 2018, 2019 to start thinking about his impending retirement, then that's when the succession plan came in, and we started working on, would it be the right thing to do to make the transition in, and so obviously, just the volume of work that he had done and the amount of contacts and everything like that, there's big shoes to follow.
Yeah.
It must be something that I do. You step in Jim Dew's shoes, and then you try to step into
telling you something.
Yeah, try to step into Larry Robinson's boots, right? Those would be boots. Coach Dew's would be future line shoes, but
well, there is a presidency opening here too.
Yeah, no.
He knows his limits.
Yeah.
I do know one person from Mackville. My only connection to Mackville was my high school basketball coach, and that was Dick Hansen,
which is a neighbor, is my Sunday school teacher. So.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think after coaching you, he came back and had me in Sunday school. There's something in their messaging as far as maybe he needed to find the Lord after coaching you for a while.
Ellendale group was kind of tough.
Yeah, those Cardinals, they can get you.
I did get to see Dick and Myrna at a funeral about a month ago, and they're still kicking too.
Yeah.
They're doing very well.
Yeah, he's a very, very pleasant man.
Yeah, super guy. Wow, this has been fun. I love reminiscing this stuff. One more thing, and that would be when you were here in the 80s, try to even compare what Valley City State is now and the growth and where this college has come over the years has got to be just mind-boggling.
It is. I've said many times as we travel around and talk with people and talk about just the subject that you're talking about, we've always had and been known as the place that had the faces. Osmond, Lemnis, Dew, Bass. Our Mount Rushmore of faces that would go on there as far as the athletic department is concerned. It's amazing. We've always had the faces, but we'd never had necessarily the places for those people to be. And we've done a good job of trying to fix up what we have. The bubble is in really good condition. Don Bauer, when he came in, that was his life's goal, was he was going to get that bubble up and operational, and he did work like crazy. Between him and Keith Baumgartner, those two guys worked like crazy. on everything there. I mean, he was not only the AD, he was an extension of facility services. I mean, he was out there every day doing something. That man worked his butt off, and we owe so much to him, and his face is on there. I mean, we've just had so many great people, the Gruters. You know, the faces have always been existent. Now, you know, we're going to have some places for people to go that are going to match the quality of the faces that we've had, and you know, that seamlessly moved into, you know, Coach McCulloch's been here 31 years. You know, and just, you know, the history on that side. And I always tell people, and we used to tout this all the time, North Dakota College Athletic Conference, the NDCAC. Who won the most conference championships ever in the history of the NDCAC? Little Valley City State.
Yes.
Little Valley City State.
Yeah.
And that's still something that we can hang our hat on, and now we've got to get back to that same situation.
And the conference change, I think that's a good one too. You guys it's going to be a little tougher at first, but I think you'll fit in.
Yeah,
I really do.
It does, and iron sharpens iron. You know, we need to raise our level. We need to, you know, when I was the chair of the commissioner of the North Star, one of the things I said is you got to raise our profile. We're only as good as our last place team. You know, and we need to get those teams better. And I think that obviously you see that the quality from top to bottom, you know, in the state of Montana, I don't think people understand this. There's no Division IIs really.
In Montana,
there is one in Billings, but there is really no Division II in Montana for the Grizz and the Bobcat kids to transfer to. So they just go down to the NAI level to those schools. Like if you eliminate all the Division IIs in North Dakota, and now those kids that leave NDSU and UND, they're coming to the frontier schools in North Dakota. So,
very true. Well, thank you so much. This has been fun, Cory. Good luck in the year to come. And again, if you kind of want to do that tax thing, you could do that before the end of the year to help your taxes out, right?
Absolutely, yeah. RMDs, right? Those required minimum distributions. You know, when you talk with people that might have some things like that in their life, you know, those things are what happens. But yeah.
I just got another year closer to that, so and that's required.
Yep, it is a required minimum distribution, and I don't mean to make these shameless plugs, but if you have an affinity for VCSU, and there's something that you are required to do that way, call our office. Let's get together. Let's make sure we can have you be a part of this new project. And it's going to be so exciting when it all is said and done. And it's going to be a landmark event.
Yeah. So many good things going on the campus. You got McCarthy. You got this. It's just a great place to be.
Yeah, it is. We went 40 years without a new building project on this campus. You can believe it. All the time we were in school, there was never a new building. And all of a sudden now, we just got to that point. Well, we're kind of in catch-up mode. But we were always whispered to be on that list of schools. North Dakota's got too many colleges. You know, we should cut a college. We should remove some colleges, right? I tell you what, once the Center for the Arts was built, those conversations went away.
Yeah.
Now the education building, you know, and give credit where credit is due. The people on the campus that had to get to work to grow the enrollment is led by Dr. Lefebvre and do all the things to retain. You know, it's not necessarily just about the enrollment growth. That enrollment also happens because students come here, have a great experience, and they are retained, and therefore we have bigger classes and more enrollment. Yeah. And so, you know, we're excited. We hate to see Dr. Lefebvre go, but the blueprint's in place. You know, and a lot of times when you have a change, you were just talking about the Vikings and changing coaches. You look for somebody that's different, right? Somebody that has strengths in the area that the previous person knows weaknesses. Well, I think we're in a situation where we know what the strengths are that were really good, and we need to continue to build upon those and have something of a similar nature, and people who understand the community, that have the partnership with the Park and Rec and with the city and with development and all those things, and then just can keep us moving and have foresight and vision and make decisions that are good for not only Valley City, but the Valley City community and the university.
You bet. Well said. And you know, Valley City State has been so lucky in all of the presidents that we've had in the last 20, 30 years, even from the beginning. Have always had good presidents, and we'll find another one. I'm sure we will.
Who wouldn't want to be here?
I know.
Exactly.
I mean, with what's going on,
Yeah.
I would ride that wave.
We talk about that all the time. Why do we keep ourselves a secret?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's the best kept secret. Yeah.
Let's not do that. We got to tout our horns a little bit, but we're Scandinavian by nature and very modest. So
It's a North Dakota thing too.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah,
Gotta tell that story.
yes.
Have to. That's how you get kids here too.
Well, thanks for helping us
Hey.
tell that story.
All right. We appreciate it very much so. Thank you, Cory. Let's see. Today in sports, you want to take a look at that
Yeah,
quick?
sure, why not?
1948, again, before all of us. After one of the best seasons in baseball history, St. Louis Cardinals utility Stan Musial is named National League MVP. Listen to these stats. He batted .365, had scored 135 runs, 131 RBIs, 230 hits, 46 doubles, 18 triples, slugging percentage .702 with 39 homers.
Cory Anderson numbers.
Yeah, I know. Very much so.
Maybe the at bats. he didn't have any maintenance days, right? He didn't have that day
No,
off.
no. And I don't know if they played in snow.
No, probably not.
On this day, 1951, a little trivia here, Paul. Cory, you can jump in too if you want. Future Pro Football Hall of Fame wide receiver has his number 14 jersey retired by the Green Bay Packers. First number retired in franchise history.
Hudson?
Don Hudson.
Yes, Don Hudson. Very good.
My
He's
wife,
younger
always,
than-
my wife always tells me that I'm the king of useless information. So
It's a guy thing, and I think if you played sports, it's
Yeah.
even worse. On this day, 1971, Frank Robinson traded from the Orioles to the Dodgers. I don't remember that. 71, and I was not quite in my prime yet, but 1984, Miami quarterback Dan Marino breaks NFL single-season touchdown pass record, throws his 37th in the Dolphins' 45-34 loss to the Raiders. He finished that season with 48.
yeah.
How many do the Vikings have
As a team.
this year?
6.
Maybe 12, yeah.
We might be in double digits.
Might,
be
yeah.
at 10.
Remember the 1985 Chicago Bears?
Oh, yeah.
Head coach Mike Ditka and defensive coordinator Buddy Ryan almost come to blows at halftime in a 38-24 loss to Miami.
I would have took Ditka on that one.
That
I
was their
would've taken
first
it.
loss of the year.
It was, yeah. Their only loss.
Their only loss. Yeah.
The
on a
shuffle
Monday night.
team. Remember the shuffle team? Chicago
yeah, the
Shuffle,
yep.
1994. I haven't seen this movie. I'd like to, though. Cobb, a film about, Ty Cobb starring Tommy Lee Jones. I don't think I've ever seen that. I got to check that out.
It's embellished, but it's a good movie.
Okay. Sports birthdays today. Monica Seles is 51. American tennis player. Aaron Rodgers, birthday today, is 41. Still playing. Struggling, though. And other birthdays today, Britney Spears, she's 43. Joke of the day.
Here it is.
Here it is. Granddaughter's up north in Minot. Always give me a joke of the day. It's always fun. This one, you're going to like this one. It's got to do with winter. And she says, "This is Liz." She's in the middle of the pack. "Who is Frosty the Snowman's favorite aunt or aunt?" Who is Frosty the Snowman's favorite aunt? Antarctica. Way to go, Liz.
Wow.
I like
look at
that.
That's a good one.
Who is Frosty the Snowman's favorite aunt? Antarctica. Oh, my goodness. We're going to see them this weekend. Can't wait.
I saw her and she told me a joke.
She did.
Yeah, she said the other day I came home and Grandpa Tim was on eBay.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
What was he doing?
And she said, I come home tomorrow, and if he's still on eBay, I might think about lowering the price a little.
Thank you, Cory.
There we go. There we go.
Okay. Thanks, Kate, Fran, Liz, Eve, Faye. That's the group up in Minot. Joke of the day today. That is all we have for this round of Toast and Jam. Thanks again, Cory Anderson. Appreciate it. And thanks to our listeners for tuning in. Paul, one final word for us?
We were talking about that website where you can watch the progress on the building. Also on our social media. We'll try to put something on our social media every day and keep people updated on what's going on with the Tharaldson Athletic Complex.
Thank you very much. Toast and Jam signing off for another broadcast from the Road Science Center, presented by Valley City State University. Be safe. Have a great week.